第16集，调皮的小狗会去哪里？左手用力，左手赢；右手用力，右手赢。如果两只手都用力，那哪边会赢呢？
萌萌 ，What are you doing?
哦，你好，克里斯博士，我的左右手在拔河呢。我想试试两只手同时在绳子上用力，看看绳子会往哪边跑。
Oh, really? Why don't you tell me about it, 萌萌？
好呀，当我往这边拉的时候，绳子就会往这边来，然后当我往这边拉的时候，绳子就会往这边跑。
Oh, and do you remember why?
是因为物体会朝着力的方向运动，当我用左手拉的时候，力的方向是朝左的，所以绳子就跟随着力的方向朝左移动了。你上次告诉我们啦。
Good memory, 萌萌。But you told me that you were trying to make forces with both hands at the same time to see which way the rope would go, right?
是的，但是当我用双手拉绳子的时候，为什么它既不向左运动，也不向右动呢？克里斯博士，为什么现在绳子不动了呢？我不明白。
Good job, 萌萌. You are very good at thorough thinking already. But before answering this question, can you draw for me the force arrows at this instance?
我两只手同时拉的时候，绳子上既有向左拉的力，又有向右拉的力，所以应该有两个方向的力，一个是箭头向左的力，一个是箭头向右的力，对吗？
Yes, exactly right, 萌萌. At this instance, not only are there two forces acting on the rope at the same time, but these forces are actually opposite in direction from each other. Examples like this happen all the time in our daily lives. Can you think of any other examples where there are tug-of-war forces?
你看，克里斯博士，那条小狗很调皮，它想往另一个方向跑，小朋友正在和它拔河呢。
Yes, 萌萌. Both the kid and the dog are pulling on the leash in the opposite direction. I've said that once you know the direction of force on an object, you'll be able to predict its motion. So, 萌萌, now that you know the direction of forces on the leash, can you predict where it will go?
小狗会去哪里呢？哎，这真是个令人困惑的问题，急死我了。
Whoa, 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 slow down, 萌萌. We'll get to the bottom of this confusion today. In fact, this is what I wanted to talk about. Do you believe me?
克里斯博士，我相信你。
Great. And what about you, children? Do you know how to estimate the direction the puppy will go? It's okay. We'll solve that mystery today. Let's go! Hello, children. Do you remember last time I showed you this picture and asked you to work with Mom and Dad to draw the force arrows? If you're still not sure how to do it, Mung Mung and I will show you how. Come, Mung Mung, you give the box a push from over there. Here's the solution. This person over here on the right is pushing to the left, just like Mung Mung did now. So we draw an arrow pointing in that direction. This person on the left is pushing on the right, just like I did now. So we put an arrow there. Do you understand these two directions?
这个很简单呀。
But we know that there are 4 force arrows in total. So where are the other 2? Meng Meng?
还缺一个代表引力的箭头，地球的引力，所以我们应该加一个朝下的箭头。
Correct. We know that gravity is always pulling down, and this is true even if the box is on the ground. So we know that there should be a 3rd arrow there. And what about the last arrow? Meng Meng?
还有一个，我不知道了。
It's right here.
咦，3个箭头我都画出来了，克里斯博士，这些都很简单，但是这个向上的箭头是怎么回事呢？你是不是画错了？
Well, I didn't draw it wrong, Meng Meng, and this is part of what I wanted to talk about today. This up arrow is actually the force of the ground pushing up on the box.
真的吗，克里斯博士？你一定是在开玩笑吧？地面是不能推的，它只是随着引力向下拉。
It's true, Meng Meng. Not only does the ground pull with gravity, but it also has a pushing force that pushes up on you. Let me give you another example. Come on, kids, help me push on this wall. Yeah, you feel that? Did you feel that? A force pushing on your hands? That was the force of the wall pushing back on you.
那这个力是怎么来的呢？难道真的是地和墙在推吗？
No, Meng Meng. We call this force the counter force. The counter force is an opposite force that an object gives when it is acted on by a force. So, if an object is not moving, then the amount of counter force must be the same as the force of gravity.
我明白了。所以说，就像墙朝着我推回来一样，地面在向上推着这个箱子，还有我的脚。
That's correct, Meng Meng. So we have 4 forces, but the box doesn't move. Why?
我还是搞不清楚。克里斯博士，你能给我个提示吗？
Sure, Meng Meng. I think we all know the experience that I'm talking about. But let's go back to the time when you were playing tug of war, or when we saw the child and the puppy. When we play tug of war, the rope doesn't move, but there are 2 forces on it. This tells us that it's not the individual forces that matter, but something about all of them together. So what is the relationship between the 2 forces and the direction? Let's say a force from the right is the plus direction, and a force from the left is the minus direction. So when you push from over there, we add a +1 force, and when I push from over here, we add a -1 force. So what happens next?
1减1等于0。你是说这个时候就是没有力了吗？
Yes, good job, Meng Meng. Arrows pointing in opposite directions cancel each other out.
互相抵消掉了。我明白了，就像我在温的洗澡水里，既放了热水，又倒了冷水，水温是不会改变的，对吗？
Exactly right. Watch this. If an energy warrior is pulling on me from the left, there would be a force arrow to the left. And if an energy warrior was pulling on me from the right, there would be a force arrow on the right. But if an energy warrior was pulling on me from both directions, there would indeed be force arrows on both directions, but I wouldn't move.
因为箭头都抵消掉了。
Correct. What if there were many forces on me at the same time? Look at all these force arrows, but some of them cancel. After we canceled all the opposite forces, what's left over is called the net force.
克里斯博士，你看，在你身上留着一个合力。
Uh-oh. So now we have 2 steps. Step 1, we draw all of the force arrows to understand the individual forces that are acting on the object. Step 2, we cancel out all of the opposite forces to be left with the net force. It's the net force that tells us the direction of motion. Do you understand, Meng Meng?
合理的方向就是物体运动的方向。啊，我觉得我明白了。
Good. Now let's find out where that naughty puppy will go. If we want to know where the puppy will go, we need to find all the forces. So, the puppy is using its strength to push to the right, and the kid is pulling on the leash to the left. And we always have the force of gravity pushing down and the counterforce of the ground pushing up. So we have 4 forces. Now, if the dog is still, then these 4 forces must cancel each other out. But if the child can increase his strength, then the puppy will have a net force in the direction of the kid. As for how far, that will depend on the strength of the kid.
我明白了，克里斯博士，看我的，我要给你唱一首关于力的歌。
这是